All right, so let's shoot this video from the perspective of the houses I showed you in Great Hills, which is that great little neighborhood. You can find housing under $1 million northwest Austin. I am starting this drive out around Breaker Lane and 183, and I'm going to take you downtown. Guys, Chris Pesek, Pesek Properties. I'm a realtor in Austin, and I know Austin. Like I mentioned, we are going to start out basically at West Breaker. Guys, Breaker Lane is where the domain is. So Breaker crosses 183 and also crosses Mopac. Mopac is Loop 1. It's a northwest road on the west side of downtown Austin. Goes from South Austin to essentially North Austin, Round Rock. And the domain is basically at Mopac at Breaker. So I'm starting at Breaker in 183. Jumping on here, Great Hills, the neighborhood is over here to my right, and it extends out behind us a little bit back towards Cedar Park as well. But it is on my right here, and I should apologize. I've got the top off my Jeep today. Might make it a little bit noisy, but I think it'll be okay. So right here, we're coming by the Porsche dealership. This area to the right is the Arboretum. It is basically a shopping area, got a lot of restaurants, businesses, stuff like that. So that's the Arboretum, and we're passing under Loop 360 here. Loop 360 goes around the west side of Austin, connects back to Mopac on the south side, goes through Westlake, which is a little town that's attached to Austin. It's essentially a part of Austin, but its own municipality. And as we cross 360, the area to the right now is known as Northwest Hills. Northwest Hills was built out basically starting kind of in the 70s and then 80s and 90s. There's still some new construction going on in there a little bit, not a ton. But we're exiting here on Mopac Boulevard, Loop 1. And we're going to be heading to the south. Now, it is about 11:30 on a Wednesday, so we're not at peak traffic. It's going to be a pretty easy drive, but it'll give you a good idea of what a non-peak time, travel time to downtown Austin looks like. They're doing construction here, another flyover. I'm not sure where this flyover is going to end up going, but it is going to connect here on the Mopac South. Northwest Hills, the schools over in Northwest Hills, and a lot of the ones in Great Hills are going to end up at Anderson High School, which is a really good high school here. It's where I started my teaching career in '99. Actually, where I met my wife. She was a teacher as well. So now we are on Mopac, heading south. To the left of us is kind of the North Vernon area, north central Austin. The housing in there is a little bit older. Those houses, those neighborhoods were developed through the 40s and 50s, and now what's being done is a lot of the older houses that could not be renovated, or if somebody wanted bigger houses, they're getting rid of the older houses, putting in larger new houses. Some of them are being renovated. Some people are taking care to renovate stuff and do a good job with that. But that's here to the left of us as we're traveling south. Exit to Far West Boulevard, Far West, Anderson Mill. All of these are east-west bisectors that go, Anderson Mill goes all the way across Austin, at least until 35. Far West does not. Far West just goes west from here. But we're also coming up on what's known as 2222 Northland Drive. That's a major bisector going across Austin from east to west. To the west, it goes all the way out across 360 and out to Loop 620, which is basically goes over the Colorado River at Lake Travis. And then if you take it east, you can go all the way to 35, and it essentially turns into Koenig Lane, and then 290 heading out east of Austin through Manor, Elgin, and then you can take that all the way to Houston. So that is a major bisector through Austin. I'm going to get over in this left lane. You'll be able to see there is a single lane toll road that if you can look, it's right here. You can see the little dividing pieces. But that runs from all the way on the north side of Mopac to downtown. You are charged by how busy the traffic is. Obviously, now there's not a lot of people on there. It would cost you about 50 cents to run from 183 to downtown, or about $1.50 to run from the very north side of Mopac to downtown. But there's really not any reason to take it. I'm driving 70. I'm passing people. Nobody's really behind me, pushing me. So this is just kind of the going part of traffic right now. Again, 11:30 on a Wednesday. This is kind of normal midday traffic. And you can see it picking up a little bit ahead as well as we get closer to downtown. Now we're getting to what was technically the heart of old downtown Austin. You notice the street names have changed. 45th Street, 35th Street. We're going to come up to Westover and Northwood. These are kind of the extents of early Austin. Call it the 1930s, 1940s. On our right here, 45th Street is basically the northern boundary of Camp Mabry. Camp Mabry is an Army base in Austin. Back in the day, Camp Mabry was on the outskirts of Austin, but now you can tell it's right here in the middle. It's also the Texas National Guard Depot. If you're a VA or if you're a vet member of the VA, you've got a PX on base that you can use for shopping. And so we are right next to Camp Mabry now as we're going down. You see these warehouses on the right. That's their storage facilities. As we pass those, you're going to see old helicopters and static displays of jets. Just past a couple of Blackhawks. There's an Apache, or maybe that was a Cobra. So you can see they've got static displays there. And so that started basically at 45th Street. Now we're coming up to 35th Street, which is the south boundary of Camp Mabry, and it runs out on the west side there. As we are crossing over 35th, this is the area that is known as kind of Old West Austin, Terrytown. There's a few other names of pockets in here. Pretty hard to get into area. Your homes are gonna start in there north of really 2 million at this point. Westover, Northwood, very nice areas. And as we're rounding this corner here, you can start to see the skyrise or the skyline here in downtown Austin. So not a very far drive. Enfield, Lake Austin Boulevard, those are going to be just on Lake Austin Boulevard is going to go to the right on the north side of Town Lake, which is now known as Lady Bird Lake. Enfield is going to essentially end up at about 15th Street between the campus of UT and the state capitol. That goes to the east, and that'll take you all the way over to I-35. Now we're going to start seeing exits for 5th Street, Cesar Chavez. Cesar Chavez is basically 1st Street. It's on the north side of Town Lake, Lady Bird Lake, on the east side of Mopac. On the west side of Mopac, it's known as Lake Austin Boulevard. So a lot of different roads, all basically the same area. Interestingly enough, Terrytown here on the west side of, I don't know if you can see, but we've got railroad tracks right down here between the northbound and southbound lanes. So Terrytown was West Austin back in the day. That was the place you wanted to live. On the east side of these train tracks is where my mother-in-law grew up as a kid, and that was considered the other side of the tracks. You did not want to grow up. That was the poor people were there, and now it's essentially a part of downtown. Again, very hard to get in there, very affluent area, just pretty funny, the changes over time. So here you're going to have your exit to downtown, 5th Street, Cesar Chavez. I'm going to go ahead and talk about this, but essentially now you're 2 or 3 minutes from downtown. So I've been talking for 9 minutes. It's an 11-minute drive at non-peak time from Great Hills to downtown. And I'm continuing north on Mopac, so I'm about to cross over the river. And that's where this video ends. And if you want to think about other places you can live, check out this next video. It is the top 6 subdivisions in Austin, under $1 billion. And I'm going to do videos like this, driving videos for each of those subdivisions. We'll see you next time.